Today we have coverage of the second day of the AMOS Festival 2025 here in Las Vegas. So day 2 is the AMOS Cup, and we will be casting games 3 and 4 of this 4-game day. So I am Adriel Ordonez from Saikouisen, USA headquarters, and alongside commentating with me again today,
I'm Matthew, or Koteki from also Saikouisen, USA headquarters.
Great. So yeah, let's go ahead and get in and introduce this tournament. So this tournament is, we see here, May 31st, Saturday, the AMOS Cup, AMOS Japan's first Las Vegas tournament and talk show. So earlier we had Hinata Aiko Pro giving a great talk, just a lot of her stories. Would you like to kind of touch up a bit on that,
Yeah,
Matthew?
so we had a little briefing of what AMOS history is, and then we opened the floor to we have some Q&A with Hinata Aiko Pro. For example, people have been asking about her experience in ABEMAs, in NAM League, etc., and it has been a very eye-opening session.
Great. Yeah, and so for the prizes, in first place there will be an Auto Hi-Pi Riichi Style HD up for grabs. In second place, a Riichi Style EX, and in third place, a Riichi Style. So these players very much wanting to bring home these automatic mahjong tables as prizes. Now let's get in and explain the rules. So similar to yesterday, it will be 4 games with M League style rules, 50 minutes plus no one hand. So after the 15 minutes has expired, that current hand will be the last hand. All right, and now game 3 should be beginning shortly. The tables are getting together. We seem to have our player list for who will be on the streaming table for game 3. First, we will have Sugiyama Pro, who we know very well. Would you like to comment on what you expect to see from Sugiyama Pro,
Yeah,
Matthew?
I feel like I've played Sugiyama Pro maybe more than 100 games is what I guess. Very unique player. And always hits you with random Dama 10s when you least expect it. Very, very dangerous player. Very scary to play against.
In addition, we will have Sophie Yi, Takahiro Sato, and Melissa Feng. To my understanding, both Sophie Yi and Melissa Feng are both from New York.
Yeah, last night I also took a little time and also watched Melissa's game in the Duo Sen qualifiers, and I think she won really, really convincingly at her table of strong players, and so this is going to be an exciting match.
Excellent. So we're just waiting for this table to get started here. Melissa did answer a couple questions on the quick interview. So her ideal Yaku is Riichi Nomi into Riichi Patsumo Ura 3. Do you have any comments on that particular Yaku, Matthew?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, there's actually a similar thing in Saikouisen that's called Tosho Riichi. So it's exactly, you only have Riichi Nomi in theory, but you hit a hand of at least Mangan because of Riichi Patsumo and with the Uradores. So that's a good mentality. I like that.
Is there anything particular that you expect to see from Sugiyama Pro today? Perhaps especially in an Akari format?
Yeah, I think Sugiyama Pro this morning started with a game of third place. And as everyone knows, under M League rules, getting first place is a huge bonus because of the UMA. And so I think Sugiyama Pro is going to play fairly aggressively in the second half of this tournament.
Gotcha. So kind of no bars on defense and lots of fights that path is clear or available at all.
Yeah, so I think he will always find a way to keep his hand alive and not just back down that easily.
Gotcha, excellent. So they seem to still be getting the tables together. Do you happen to kind of know how the standings look at the moment?
I'm not so sure right now, but I think we can check on
Okay.
the system a bit later.
Got it, yeah. So we will likely be casting a game 4 that will have some of those players that will be contending for the overall spot or for those tables, automatic tables as prizes. And we should be getting into starting soon. So they are finally announcing to the players that they will be on the streaming table. It seems that they were not made aware until now, so
Yeah.
everyone's pretty excited up there, clapping it up for them.
Yeah, this adds really an extra twist
Yeah.
to this already exciting tournament. So
If you were to be participating, does that change anything up for you? Do you think you're sitting at a normal table and then 10 seconds before they call you up to say, oh yeah, you're gonna be, eyes will be on you,
Yeah.
up to possibly 10,000 eyes will be on you?
yeah, I'm sure that will add on to the pressure. For me, you may try to play a little bit more defensively to avoid dealing in at all costs, but I hope the players are not super affected by that.
All right, it looks like everyone has sat down, so we should be getting into the game right now. Hopefully you can hear Kenji from wherever you are. Quick pause.
I think there's a problem with the point sticks, I assume. Seems that
Missing Kyotaku, perhaps. It looked like a 100-point stick.
yeah, probably on the table. Well, doing this a second time would feel a little bit awkward.
Countdown number 2.
Alright, here we go into the game.
Looks like Sugiyama-san will be our first dealer. Dora being the 7 so there, I believe.
A really promising hand with the double east and also a pair of south.
Yeah, very callable hand. We'll see if this is ends up being Honitsu with 4 Pinzu Honitsu blocks.
Yep. I think other players also have pretty decent hand with good fighting chances.
Yeah, we see Sugiyama-san here with pretty much overblocked, so wonder which will end up being cut first, if we'll be moving towards that Honitsu or just pure speed and making that dealer repeat occur. Isofi kind of having a lot of outside tiles could maybe move towards the Junchan.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Now it is 5 Pinzu Honitsu blocks.
Yeah, all those blocks aren't that good for Honitsu. It might be pushing too far if he's trying to go for Honitsu.
Yeah, we'll start with this Sozu block. If the Dora is drawn, then the plan will probably change.
Yeah, for now, still discarding both the, I think, 6-mon, 7-mon for the Honitsu can be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, a lot of the other players with Tanyao, a lot of Tanyao blocks. Oh, and that will be the call from Sophie. We'll move towards this Junchan.
Yeah, or Toi Toi even for that hand. Still a lot of potential.
Different options still to be floated.
So once again drawing the 6-0 here, might consider dropping the 1-pin 2-pin at this stage.
Well, but we'll continue. Karagiri's the 6-0. That was 3 pairs, so a little bit inefficient to keep them all as well.
Yeah.
This 3-pin will be cheated by Melissa.
You're going for the Tanyao.
Yeah, especially with that Dora in hand, just going to want to speed up any way possible. Oh, and that is the Dora Pone from Melissa. Mongon hand.
Yeah, and the shape is great for now. This does put a lot of pressure on Takashio-san here.
I believe his name's Takahiro, so that may be a misspelling on the sheet there.
The Tuso might come out soon from Sophie.
Yeah.
6-pin actually a really good draw, but then he is also wary of Melissa, who has called twice.
Yeah, it seemed like a little reluctant to cut that 8-mon, but it will pass. And now the Tenpai here for Melissa on 2-5 mon. It's a Mongon ready hand. Would be a great start in East 1. Kick it off with a Mongon.
Sugiyama here dropping the pair of non, sensing the danger really to drop both the 6-mon and the 7-mon. It's difficult at this stage. And that's the deal in for 8,000.
Yeah, Takahiro will deal in to Melissa. So with that Mongon deal in, we will be brought to East 2.
Yeah, so that was quite rough. And Takahiro-san has a great hand with Tampini Peiko.
Yeah.
Looking at a Mongon hand, but then after actually Melissa cutting the Tuso, which would be quite likely to be a related tile from her hand, it actually gets really tricky to cut any of the Tanyao tiles once more afterwards.
Yeah, and we are brought now into East 2 with 2-pin being our Dora. Seems to be a lot of players who can contend for this hand here. Lots of strong blocks, completed Mensus.
This is quite interesting, right? Takahiro-san also...
yeah, it does cut that Dora Kanchan.
Yeah, destroying the Dora acceptance. But that gives him maybe more options in terms of effective tiles.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the option with that upper Sozu Penchan.
Yeah, I think just now there was also the option of cutting the 3 so early because of the 3-3-4 shape.
Yeah, and this will be Ishan 10 there for Sophie. Looking for that Haku Pone. Melissa with a couple difficult shapes, but still decreasing the Shanten.
Drawing the Dora here, but still the shape is not exactly ideal.
Yeah, we'll see which player is able to fill their difficult shape first. Have Kanchans for both Sophie and Takahiro that they would very much like to fill first before they get to Tenpai.
Melissa here finally completing one of the blocks, and does seem that it's slowly getting towards that Pinghu and potentially Tanya as well.
Yeah. Wonder if we'll see some calls soon from Sugiyama-sama.
There is the Haku. If Melissa decides to discard it right now, not yet, apparently. this might be the time where... Oh, it's still holding on to the Haku. It'll be quite curious to see what Melissa's plan is with this Haku, as it gets increasingly difficult to discard as the game progresses.
Melissa is currently headless, if I see that correctly. Oh, and we'll also not keep this Arianman.
I'm finally connecting on a draw. Here, having 3 pairs.
Yeah, overblock for sure.
One of the pairs, or just drop the Kanchan. Quite an interesting choice there also. Probably also considering that dropping the pair of 6-pin might be too good for this Shimocha.
Yeah, and with that 5-so pair Tadashi, we see Sophie move into this Honitsu.
Discarding an entire block. But the good thing is she kept the Haku that the dealer Sophie is waiting for.
Yeah. Almost feels like Melissa was committed to almost rebuilding her hand into being a Haku Donkey.
Yeah, I would be quite curious to see what Melissa will do if she manages to get into Tenpai with this shape. But now the Haku is going to be the losing tile here.
Yeah, it will be the Shampoo 9-pin Haku.
Takahiro-san making it to Tenpai. Dama 10 for now, but there's no Yaku.
And there's the 7-so.
Waiting on the 6-so Nakasuji can be an option, but still
Dama 10.
the weight is not super satisfactory. Sugiyama-san here making it to Tenpai, pushing with the 4-pin here.
As will be the Ryanman 2-5-pin weight. With 2-pin being Dora, we're not likely to see that being cut.
Now
but now Tom
has Yaku.
But yeah, with that 9-pin cut, it will deal into Sophie. Should be the 12,000.
No, it's
Oh, that is not a
Points
chi.
Aka,
That's the
yeah.
Ethan Pone. I see.
58.
Yeah, 5,800. Sophie will retain the dealer.
Almost destroys the table, actually. I'm missing a tile there.
And we are now moving into East 2, repeat 1. Door being 7-pin. See one of those here in Takahiro's hand.
Yeah, very, very rough start for Takahiro-san here.
Has 3 Ryanman shapes, so
Interesting. Discarding the 1-pin first, going straight for Tanyao. He definitely needs value here. Again, with the time limit, every hand becomes very precious, especially when you're behind.
yeah, we definitely saw that occur yesterday, how important that was, and how important it was for North Seat to kind of want to move things along.
Yeah. Sophie here actually discarded the Dora right off the bat. That is quite an interesting choice. Preferring to hold the double east over the Dora.
Here's the pay Anko draw here for Takahiro.
Yeah, not exactly the ideal draw, but it does make the shape much better.
Now for Sugi-san, a lot of Sozu blocks.
Oh!
Wow.
This is the ideal draw.
Very, very wide Ishanten.
Up next, we want to draw, like, what, the 3-so? for
Sugi-san
example?
continues to draw Sozu.
Yeah, potentially looking at a full flush, or also Sanshanten from Churen Poto.
And you need to dream. You need to end in the top 3.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see if Sugi-san's draws will continue here in the Sozu. It's Melissa not making too much progress.
Wait
wow.
a second. We are in fact 2 shanten, or Liang shanten from Shuren Portal.
Yeah, do we still have the ISO alive?
We do in fact have 1 out, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, should be 2 more in the wall. Never say never here. As Takahiro would also like to use the 1-so.
Definitely Susan is looking at cheese for now, but then as the turn goes deeper, it's hard to say if that will maintain the case. But then now the 2-pin has been pawned, and
yeah, that will be the Riichi here for Takahiro.
so drawing the 6-pin is a little bit unfortunate because you will have to cut the Dora, but still getting to Tenpai is huge here. Especially when Sugi-san is brewing something that can end the game immediately, basically.
Yeah, will not be the Churin, but be more than happy enough with Menchin.
Yep. Sugi-san basically almost pushing everything at this stage.
Yeah.
Now also the 5-pin has been cleared. Very, very exciting start. Still not yet in Tenpai. Drawing the 1-so, now actually waiting on 5-so, 8-so I believe, as well as
Is it in Totsu as well? So would it be the
1-so,
1-so?
yeah.
Yeah, so 5-8 1-so, 1-5-8-so.
This is quite crazy. Actually now Melissa running out of saved tiles, is it?
Is there any particular shifts in weight that Sugi-san would be looking for, Matthew?
Yeah, I think at this stage it's... Yeah, I think everything that seems a little bit better would be the winning tiles, so I think right now there aren't a lot of improvements that he can look forward to.
Yeah, and then we see 2 of the 8-so there in Sophie's hand.
And 2 of the 4-sos here. Still, his chances are alive. Let's not forget that Takahiro-san also waiting for the 1-4-so. Get down to the last 2 turns.
Yeah, I don't think there's much left here in the wall.
Still the 1-so
Possibly
does
only
exist.
1 8-so and
Yeah,
1 1-so.
1 8-so. Takahiro-san didn't make the Zumo, but at least dodging the bomb. 9-so, so he can definitely con here for an extra draw.
This is the last tile here in the wall.
Oh, but then this is the winning tile for...
Yeah, 1 4-so here. There are options here
Takahiro-san.
for Sugi-san to take Tenpai.
Yeah, he has to figure out the right path, which
Oh,
is
and
in
will
fact the
cut
7-so.
dodge.
So that is a huge save actually. Dealing it into the hote here would be disastrous for Sugi-san, but then having the information of the 5-so wall in the end, a very, very good, very, very skillful 7-so cut by Sugi.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and also avoiding both the Hote and the Uradora. That was the new
Uradora.
Uradora.
With the Khan as well, yeah. So at that point, I think the cuts to remain in Tenpai would be 1-so, 4-so, and 7-so, if I'm not mistaken. I think 5-so might also be one of them. That would be waiting for 3-so, 6-so. But then the most safe option would be the 7-so when you have 3 of the 5-sos in your hands already.
Yeah. Relying on that 5-so Kabe to make the 7-so better. And as we now are moving into East 3.
Yeah, so very nice play by Sugi. Obviously it's a shame for both Sugi and Takehiro-san, both having very, very good hands, but unable to connect on the final draw.
Homba 2, the door is 4-so. See a 2 4-so here in Sugi-san's hand.
And he also has the his wind of Sha, but that is Mochi Mochi currently with Sophie's Kokshi.
Yeah, Sophie seemed to be very committed to that Kokshi.
Yeah, it seems that Melissa is currently having the best prospects of winning this hand, and all the Kyotaku that is there.
Yeah, like a small thing we were talking about yesterday is when you're going this Kokshi, do you also float the things like the Honitsu or any other kind of terminal hands, and then how far will you take that before you make the commit?
Yeah, I think here Sophie is trying to do just that, keeping the Aka 5-pin in her hand for a while, but then it's slowly becoming obvious that there is no way she can go back.
Will be the Kanchan cut from Melissa. Possibly hoping to draw in the Itsu for the Pinzu, or maybe an entire shift into Honitsu, depending on draws and blocks.
So Sophie now actually down something from Kokshi. Are we going to see a Kokshi today after Isabella yesterday having the Kokshi Jiusame Machi Isanten?
Yeah, we're due for one for sure.
Oh my god, we're
here's the
Isanten now. Actually, a very interesting maneuver here by Sophie, discarding the 1-mon first to mask the river, keeping the relatively dangerous red 5-pin. You can argue it's a somewhat greedy play, but it's very effective.
Yeah, but with this call, now Tenpai for Melissa. The Aka will be cut now.
Yep.
Luckily not dealing in.
Takehiro-san here looking at the 1-2-3 Sanshoku and breaking up the double acceptance for 5-pin, 6-pin. But then, as we know, the 7-so is the winning tile for Melissa, and so Sophie will not be able to complete this Kokshi. Once again, we're just a little bit away from another Yakuman.
Yeah, just a little bit short, but this will be the Riichi here for Takahiro, waiting on that 1-pin, 4-pin, with the 1-pin giving that Sanshoku. We'll see how Melissa will respond to the 4th place Riichi. Thinking about breaking the hand.
This might actually yield the way to Sophie completing the Kokshi. Actually here. This is
another door draw here for Sugi-san.
So you're probably realizing that the Sha is not coming out soon. And here, so he really wants to push, maybe first with the Sha. Oh, but decides to push either way.
Oh, but with the sumo
That's
here on the
sumo.
on the Sancho. That's Riichi Patsumo Sancho Kudora.
Incredible. This is a huge comeback for Takahiro-san.
3,000, 6,000, 3,200, 6,200.
Yeah, I think in the last few turns, Takahiro-san had really, really good draws, drawing a pen 3-mon, and then Ipatsumo on the Takame Ipin.
Yeah, and just like that, from 4th to 1st, Takahiro now here with 31,000. Melissa not too far behind, 25,000.
Sugi-san having Dora Dora actually looking really good in terms of speed.
Yeah, a lot of players with very good shapes overall. Would be the chi there for Melissa.
I think it's the Pong. But then her hand is blocking the camera. Yeah, I think that's probably a Pong heading towards Hoinzi for now.
Oh, and continuing to draw on the Manzu there for Melissa.
So I'm looking at the 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku here. Well, actually, I think everyone is on pretty equal footing for now. Takahiro-san looking at the 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku on his end.
Yeah, I feel like Takahiro will be a little bit slow here.
So he's on Chiing the 5, 6, 7 with Akaka and potentially Tanyao. He can get to Mangan pretty easily.
Yeah, a lot of pass here for Sugi-san. Yeah, does have a decision here. That Manzu could be accepted, but we'll decide against it.
Yeah, I think he was kind of trying to get rid of the Manzu early, so as to not deal in later in the game.
Yeah, but will be called by Melissa anyway.
Yep.
Progressing her hand.
Sophie
The
here
Keiko draws now for
heading
Sophie.
to Ishanten. Takahiro-san caught in a relatively tricky position. Don't want to give the 9-mon to Melissa.
Yeah, players definitely being wary. Wondering if Melissa is Tenpai already. Is Ishan 10 would like to draw around that 2-mon. Will be the Chun Tadashi. Wonder if any players will play different, kind of seeing that. Oh, the Aka draw here.
Yeah, here finally cutting the 9-mon.
Yeah, with the lead not being this big, if there is a way to fight, Takahiro would like to take it.
Sugi-san still trying to pair something. Does manage to pair something. I think right now the weight is 3-6-0, 7-so.
Yeah, will be the Intotsu. A little difficult to see when it's unsorted at first, but
yeah, but I think right now there's no more Sanshoku for Sugi-san. Unless they're trying the 8-mon, but not in Tenpai just yet. Still need an extra draw.
yeah, essentially playing Kutsuki Ishan 10 on the 2-8-mon, which are not the best tiles you would want to Kutsuki on.
Finally Chiing here.
Yeah, will be on the Penchon 7-mon weight.
Aku cut 3 times, still a perfectly safe tile.
Oh, the door draw will come out. Will be followed here.
7-mon, I think, is it 1 left?
Maybe 1 left.
In the wall, I believe. So, was somewhat caught in a pinch. Seems that Sugi's weight is a little bit better. Takahiro-san committing to the Sanshoku.
Ishan 10 here.
Keeping the perfectly safe tile Haku. 5-mon looking quite suspicious, but it can be tricky to try to get around it. He can definitely cut Forso, but we'll see what Sugi decides here. Pushing seems likely to me, at least.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough position here.
But actually the side's against it, so
Little
playing
break.
pretty solid mahjong here.
Now will be the Tenpai for Takahiro, waiting on that 3-so for the Sanshoku.
Actually connecting Sugi-san.
Coming back into Tenpai here. Now on the 5-8-mon, Arianman, which is completely taken up almost by Sophie.
Yeah, I believe there's none in the wall. The 4-mon comes out here, most likely.
Yeah, the 8-mon is dead for sure.
5-mon also 2 here by Sophie, so officially Junkara for Sugi-san.
Yeah,
At
at this point, very likely to be the 3-player Tenpai.
Yeah, I think the 3, so there's still 1 left in the wall in theory.
Oh,
Actually,
Trisha will come out from Sophie.
Discarding the 3, so that was quite unexpected.
It's the Sanshoku Dora 2. Will be 5,800 to 6,400.
Yeah, this really hurts.
6,700, excuse me.
This is surprisingly having like a surprisingly high value here.
Yeah, maybe seeing the 6-0s coming out there. And
Yeah, I believe
just
so.
assuming the Suji is fine.
Yeah, and the fact that she has a pair off it,
Yeah,
and
knowing it won't deal into the Manzuhoni
yeah.
too, or Manzuchini too.
So actually, Takahiro-san coming back really, really strong after a fairly rough start in East 1 and 2.
Yeah, with that, we will be now in East 3, home before Dora
Wow,
in
having
3-so.
another very, very good hand. But then Melissa also having
Wow.
an incredible hand here. Yishanten already.
Great speed. See if that Kanchan can get filled early.
Oh, still connecting. Very, very good. But now the problem is that he is not able to use the Aka 5-so here just yet.
Yeah, we'll cut the 2-so. Not the worst punish if Dora is drawn with that Aka 5-so.
It's now a race for 2 players in Yishanten.
Yeah, being Ishanten's position, what do you do in Takahiro's position if you do draw that Dora? You would be, in order to have good weight, you would be forced to cut 2 Dora.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I think cutting 2 Doras would be taking it too far. It's probably worth it to keep both of them, but let's hope he doesn't draw any Doras.
Ooh, and
For
here's
now.
the Sozu being connected. Sanmen-chan.
Yeah, if Takahiro-san draws any Dora, at this point, he is faced with some really difficult decisions, I would think. That is not Tenpai, but that does extend the Manza weight all the way to 147 man. So in theory, discarding the red 5 pin here gives the widest Ishan 10, but it's also completely okay to just discard the 5 man. Decides to go for efficiency here.
Yeah, there's a lot of paths where you will have that Riichi Tanya Dora efficiency at this point. Pretty good decision.
So Sophie actually getting it to perfect Ishan 10.
With the Hatsu Anko.
Yep. Completing the draw Melissa here, actually one of the better draws.
I'm sure we'll see the call.
Yep. So I think she just took a moment to confirm that there's in fact no Ipeiko, drawing the 4-man.
Yeah, no option for Ipeiko here. Now Riichi on 1-4-so.
So Sugi-san is probably folding completely here, but then Sophie here likely chasing with the Riichi waiting on the same thing.
Yeah, slightly better with the Sanmen-chan. Sophie 1-4-7, so.
And now it makes it really difficult for Takahiro-san to push the red 5 so against 2 players.
Yeah. But with 13,000 point gap to second, probably it's going to be more than okay, just kind of giving up here.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But for now, basically Takahiro-san completely folding his hand, and it's now a battle, and
there's a sumo here for Melissa. Not the Takame, but we'll be happy with the Linpin Sumo Dora. 1300, 2600, ending up 1700, 3000.
A very important win here, really closing the gap with Takahiro-san.
Yeah, especially with that Oya payment. So we'll be less than 3,000 points between Melissa and Takahiro.
Sugi-san having the Hatsu ready to pong.
Ooh, Dora 3 here for Takahiro. Looks like pretty good speed for Melissa as well.
We'll see when this Hatsu comes out.
Well, another pair.
No, actually being one Ishan 10 from Shitoi. Oh, 2-man is a great draw for Melissa, and now heading towards Pinku by dropping one of those pairs.
Think we'll see any calls from Takahiro here?
Yeah, I think
other
it's
than
quite,
Dora?
Yeah, I think it's quite tricky to call the Haku here. It's really hard to say because after the Haku, you're kind of holding on to this double acceptance for a 4-pin, 5-pin, and especially the door indicator is 3-pin. It's not that easy to fulfill that, and not to mention the 6-pin is currently accepted 3 times, actually.
Yeah, we see not an entire kind of focus on that cheat toy. I think a lot of players there might have kind of made that Suzy trap in the Manzu there.
Yeah, so I think just now it's quite hard to say.
So possibly looking to call that. Oh, but we'll reach Tenpai here.
Chitoi Now Damaten is likely
Yeah.
at the 8 pin for now, but might change eventually. Melissa here aiming for Junchang after dropping a 3 pin, 4 pin. But then the 8 pin comes out, and this is a huge one.
Yeah, will be the Chi Toy Dora 3.
Yeah, I think also just now it's worth discussing Melissa's decision to drop the 3 pin, 4 pin. There you have the Dora that is for sure giving you 1 Han versus having the 7 pin, 8 pin where if you draw the 6 pin then your Junjiang is out. So that is also quite an interesting choice on her part. Susan here, the high pie giving already Yishanten from Chitoi.
And we see Sophie there with a lot of Manzu blocks. We'll see how the hand develops.
Yeah, it would be great for her to draw the double south here. Oh, actually a Tempa already.
Wow.
So this is for sure reaching, waiting on the Haku. And Sophie is extremely dangerous right now. The Haku can come out anytime.
Ooh, it will not be Ipatsu, at the very least.
Yep. So actually I think it's a great thing that she discarded the 4-man Genbutsu despite that basically completely shattering her shapes. Some people might actually just push directly with the honor tiles, and one of them is the Haku.
Yeah, perhaps being content knowing that her dealer's coming up, so we'll take her fight then.
Yep. And I think here Sophie might end up discarding the Haku soon when she runs out of safe tiles. There's also 1 Mon.
Yeah, it's all but
It's
taking
slowly
time bomb
getting
here.
there. Slowly getting there. It's very unfortunate. There's absolutely no way to defend against this.
We'll see how much more information is given from Sugi-san's Tsumogiri.
Still not drawing any Manzu. Sophie-san still hanging on there. But then the Haku is here.
Ooh.
But Takeo-san has plenty of resources to defend with, and so still the pressure is on Sophie right now.
Yeah, only
This-
1 Haku left in the wall.
Still not discarding the Haku. That's really interesting. The Hatsu basically equivalent also.
No, they teach you that so you don't build into Ri, so you have to cut,
Yeah,
cut the
Hatsu
Hatsu first.
Yeah, they got that from the AIs as well. So we'll see. The 1 Mon actually coming out here, but then Sophie is running out of resources.
Yeah, it's really starting to get slim.
But then the 6 Mon also Genbutsu that Sophie has a pair of, so maybe that is saved. Kind of
Yeah,
made
going to
it
at least
in
afford a
time.
couple more turns.
There's still 1 in the wall as Melissa draws the Dora Anko. Still decides not to push, holding on to the 2nd place. Sophie demonstrating really solid defense so far.
Yeah, we'll see if this last Haku is still in the live wall.
So I think it's actually really remarkable that Sophie didn't just, push with a hand like that while being 6,700 points 4th place. It's a really calm decision to just cut the Genbutsu.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there are plenty of players that could deal in Ipatsu there.
Yeah. I think
Or very early at the very least.
Sugi's thermal motion now gradually showing the camera for some mysterious reason. Once you're drawing the 3, so really want to fight with his hand. But then Tsumo's on the last
on the
one.
wall.
Let's see if he hits the Uradora. In fact, we can't see it. And no, it's not.
Will be the Riichi Chitoi
Will
Sumo.
only be that.
3,200 all.
Alright, thank you to the crew.
Yeah, showing us the Ura.
Promptly. And putting it back. Thank you very much for the crew for doing that.
Yeah, and with that, it will be the repeat. Sugi-san's dealer repeat. South 1, Homba 1. Got a lot of upper Sozu there.
Not easy to navigate this hand. Sophie here really needs some win, but honestly, it's very, very remarkable effort from Sophie, defending very rationally and taking basically no unnecessary risks. The most dangerous moment was really deciding between Haku and Hatsu.
Yeah.
that's the most dangerous moment, but then luck was on her side. It was Haku instead of Hatsu that Sugi-san was waiting for and being able to survive until Sugi Tsumos.
Yeah, and we see the Penchon break here, Takahiro.
Melissa here also looking at the Manzi. Sophie having 4 pairs now. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, full Penchon break here for Takahiro.
That is also quite interesting, right? Not having enough blocks so far and breaking the Penchon so early. So here, considering 8-man, 9-man, I would believe.
Yeah, and it will be that cut there.
So giving up on the Itsu, trading the Yaku for shape.
5 minutes left.
Yeah, I don't think the pair is not quite exactly defined yet there, but shapes are good for drawing into one.
Really putting in the the force.
You can feel the
Getting trolled.
yeah.
Here, Sophie, heading towards Sanko.
Mhm.
That's a great way to generate value from this hand that has no Doras.
Yeah, Sophie definitely needs to get the ball rolling right before her dealership. We're going to be coming up on time at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melissa's still searching for that pair.
Sugi-san drawing the 5-pin, becoming an Anko. That does take care of the slow part off his hand, but still the speed is not there just yet compared to some other players here. Melissa once again having a chance of heading into Ishante, and there's also a possibility to consider the 2-3-4 Sanshoku if you need more value from this. Oh, Sophie here
Oh,
actually
wow.
completing the Anko with the Sanko chance.
Yeah, will be the 3-pin Iso, Shampon. And that Sumo, like you said, will give the Sananko.
In fact, after the 3-pin draw here by Takahiro-san, there's no more 3-pin left in the wall. However, 1 so is still 2 in the wall. So we'll see if this is Sophie's comeback.
Yeah, and it feels like it's pretty good in the wall too. Kind of how Tuso has been cut 3 times by players.
Yep. Melissa here half folding, still trying to find the Yaku and see if there's a chance or a safe way to fight back with this hand. Actually completing it.
Wow.
Now having the Yaku, but then as we know, 3-pin, there's none in the wall. Sugi-san not giving up on his dealer turn just yet, I believe. Looking at the Shanten here.
Yeah, I wonder which tile we'll see that we might see a break here from Melissa.
Completing it.
Oh,
Now
wow.
Riichi.
Will be the chase here. 2-pin Kanchan.
I think 2-pin is 1 out and 1 player has 1 of them, so it's a 50-50 right now, 2 versus 2. Tumon is no chance, I believe, from Melissa's perspective. Seems completely pushable.
Yeah. Not sure how much Genbutsu she had to 2 players either way.
And also 2-pin is in fact Melissa's Genbutsu, although that might not trap anyone at this point. Probably, yeah, retreating with this 4-sword draw. And this is the 1-so.
This will be the deal into
And
Sophie.
actually with the Ura 3.
Amazing.
So turning a 1600 hand to 8,000, this is huge.
I feel like this was brought upon Melissa's statement of the Ura 3
Yeah.
going into Ura 3, so
It manifested, just not on her.
yeah. It was adjacent, it was close enough. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
I kind of saw that coming.
really?
I kinda saw
You felt it?
I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, and just like that, Sophie back to having fighting chance to Gyakten here. Get out of 4th, especially with their dealer.
Yes.
I believe there was a time notification.
Yeah, I actually missed it. I'm not entirely sure what they said just now. I'm gonna guess it's time soon, actually.
Yeah, I think we may have 5 minutes or less.
Yeah, so just now Sophie has a huge win against Sugi-san, but still she needs some more work on her dealer turn in order to get out of 4th. She's not off the water just yet.
Yeah, players should probably be playing like this could be their last hand.
Takahiro-san now sitting comfortably, I think, at 398.
Yeah.
That's out of the Manganzumo range from Melissa.
Yeah, just barely. If someone puts in a Riichi stick, that will be the condition for Melissa to Mangansumo.
Yep. Melissa here looking for value from this hand.
Okay, judge table 1, please. Table 1 scoring. QB check.
And there's some tables that are finishing up right now, so just about coming up on time.
Yep.
Yeah, Sophie definitely has a hand that could overtake to 3rd if she can just get those draws.
Sophie here really
If you're done, raise your
having a
hand
really,
high
really good
and
shape
call scoring judge.
for
Scoring judge will
Pinghu and Tanya also. Melissa
Mhm.
having a lot of pairs.
Last game for
Let's see
today,
how this
4
goes.
p.m. We'll start at 4 p.m.
Yeah, the Riichi Tanya Sumo will be enough to do it for Sophie.
So you hesitated for a moment, wanting to call pawn on it, but then decided against it.
But with that ESO draw, no longer Tanyao, but the hand does progress there for Sophie.
Yep. I think if Sophie Zimo is here on just Pinghu, well, actually, Sugi-san having 3 Yakuhais, one of them is the white Dora.
Yeah. Wanted to see how greedy we could possibly get there. If it would ever be the Ryeonmin cut. Even float that Toy, but will not be that greedy.
So I believe Sophie here, if she completes the Pinghu Zimo, she would be in 3rd place over Sugi by 100 points, if I'm not mistaken. I might be.
I think you're correct. Should be 52 swing?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think.
it would just be 100, barely.
So this is still, you can say it's anyone's game for now.
Yeah, wow. And we'll see who can get here.
Backfiring after discarding the 5 pin, but
7, please. Scoring judge to number 7. Thank you.
Sugi-san here actually having 5 pairs now, but then Sophie will draw on the 3-sided, now waiting for 5, so 8, so.
Yeah, and let's see, there's 2 8-so here being held up here.
And as we said,
1 8-so being held by Melissa.
Yep. And I think 2 by Sugi-san, 2 5-so by Sugi-san. So I think
Only
1
1 8-so?
left. Yeah, 1 8-so left. So we'll see if Sophie does make the micro draw, or if she manages to get a direct hit on Sugi.
Here's the Tenpai on the Chi-Toy. See what...
If this is the last game, Takahiro-san has many reasons to push.
Yeah, will break with that 9-so.
Then decided against it, probably worrying about the potential 12,000 that would put.
Oh
my god!
The sumo, the last in the wall!
And exactly 1,300, that would put Sophie in 3rd while drawing the final one. Incredible comeback.
Wow.
By Sophie, hitting first the Dora 3 in the game before, and then here actually barely edging out Sugi-san.
Yeah, so we'll see our final point tallies here. Yeah, it just says, like you said, 100 point difference here.
Game 4, last game for today.
That had to have been the last hand.
4 p.m.
Everyone's leaning back. Yeah, that is the Gyakuten there for Sophie. First place ending Takahiro with 38,500. Second, Melissa with 28,200. Third place, Sophie with 16,700. And in last place, Sugi-san, unfortunately, with 16,600. Gyakuten there in all last.
Wow, it was an incredible turn of events, really.
I'm actually surprised that it ends up being this exciting.
I know, it's really good. Sophie realizing the condition, actually, for 1,300 all, and drawing the last one, the 8-so, wow.
Yeah, and with that, game 3 is finished.
Yeah, we didn't know there's this kind of foreshadowing coming from the Ura 3.
Yeah, maybe we need to get more player interviews so we can just like know what's gonna happen in the game. We can spoil it.
I know,
but yeah, with that, game 3 is
fun.
finished, and game 4 will begin shortly. So please stay tuned until then. Thank you very much.
It is what it is. Japan is the last time. That's all I can say. Poor chaps should have waited one more time, huh? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, points. The total score has been updated. If you want to see where you're at, go ahead and take a look. If you want to take a group picture like what the biggest dragons are doing, please go ahead and do that. We will start in 10 minutes. The game will start in 10 minutes. Lapong. Okay, all players from Lapong, please go up to the podium. A group picture time. If you're from Lapong, if you're with Lapong, please go up to the podium. We're taking a picture. Of course. All Lapong players to the podium, please. Everybody, everybody. All players. Okay, run, the home, run. Taking a group picture.
Don't be nervous, okay? Oh, there's a sheet, huh? Of yourself. You know left hand, okay? Woo.
Almost. We're going to start in about 6 minutes. If you haven't gone to the restroom or a quick bathroom break, please do so. We are going to start in 5 minutes. If you are done with your break, please go ahead and sit down your assigned table. This is the last game for today. 25 minutes straight. We're that in. So yeah, for now you can just sit there. Yes. Okay, so after everybody sits,
Welcome back, everyone, from our short break. We will be getting Game 4 underway shortly as the players are heading towards their tables and their assignments. And I do believe they will be announcing to the table that will be on the streaming table. Because it is a little bit of a surprise to them.
Yep.
That's the way they've been doing it.
It's also a surprise to us, I think, for Game 4.
Yeah. So I have a table that was potentially going to be a streaming table. That may change due to the rankings. So as to not be wrong, I won't say that for now. But we can go over what is the current standings for today after the 3 out of 4 games occurring. So here's who we have so far, and I guess we can discuss maybe the top 5, the players that are likely to end up in the top 3 to take home these auto tables. In first place, we have Mark K. You happen to know anything about this player?
I don't think so, but I think right now, yeah, he has a really sizable lead over second place, leading by I think 13 points. Still within 1 placement, but
Yeah. Yeah, especially with this Oka format that Emily style rules, the first place taking the bonus UMA. In second place, we have Kate D, not too far behind. We should say that Mark does have 192.8 points, and then in second, Kate has 179.7 points. And very closely behind is Yumiko Pro with 177.2 points.
yeah, I just talked to her just now on my way to the bathroom, and she seems to be having a great day with 3 tops. As we saw also yesterday on the stream, that she is very good at winning big hands and basically ending the game in the East 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see if she can keep it going.
Definitely seems like when it rains, it pours type of situation.
Yeah,
Yumiko.
exactly.
And yeah, exactly. With all these top standing players right now, you would have to just take first in all of your games.
Yep.
So I'm sure that's what we see in all of these situations. In fourth place is Tinkai with 160.6 points. And in fifth is Christine R with 154.4 points. So any of these players, they're all within 38 points of each other. Really, any of these players could take that table home.
Yeah, definitely. If you consider the first place in M-League rules, you have plus 50, and then the second place, that's plus 10. So that in itself is already 40 points of difference.
Yeah.
And so basically, I think from this point on, for the top 5 players, and even for players who are just a little bit below, the placement will decide basically everything for now.
Yeah, I probably should say this for the viewers at home. Claire is in 7th place with 127.3 points. So also a possible contender to bring another table over to the East Coast.
Yeah, I think also this Battlefield twins for 6th place and 8th place. I believe Michael and Anthony. Very, very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, so we should be getting underway hopefully soon. If they do announce that, confirm that table, then I will begin to talk on the players. But yeah, until then, I guess we can continue to discuss that last game, that last Hanchan we just saw.
Yeah, I think just now it's a lot of things. I also actually talked to Sugi-san after the game.
Okay.
Yeah, where I was trying to see what he was thinking about. I think he was saying that in the final hand that he has the Dora Haku pair, he was thinking maybe he was a little bit indecisive in what he wants to do with this hand, potentially losing on the Tenpai chance after cutting the pair of Chun. So for players at his level, I'm sure he's thinking about all sorts of things. all sorts of final shapes that he's seeing.
Yeah.
And so it was really unfortunate for him in the end. Although on the flip side, Sophie made a really impressive comeback, drawing, well, first of all, getting the Ur-3 and then drawing the final 8, so
Yeah.
fulfilling the condition by 100 points. So that was a really, really exciting game just now.
All right, so we will be starting soon. We're waiting for the table to sit down, and it is the table that was initially planned. So at this table, we will have Brendan, Kate, Isabella, and Terry.
Yeah, I think Kate currently in second place, if
yeah.
I wasn't mistaken. Isabella
Correct.
always a fun player to watch, and then we'll see how this match goes down.
And we are now headed underway. Brendan will be our starting dealer. The Dora being Hatsu. Kate holding one of those green dragons there. Oh, excuse me, the 6-mon. There's an incredible glare for me to think it was a white dragon.
Especially
indicator.
because, yeah, the paint on the red 5-mon is, oh, you're right, like it's completely just like invisible
Just
on the glare.
a little bit of false information.
Yep. Here, it doesn't look like anyone is particularly fast. We'll see who makes the breakthrough here first.
Yeah.
Kate here potentially considering Honitsu from this hand.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see Kate's playstyle. If a first isn't necessarily clear or in sight, how much of acceptance of a second will be willing to take, or any kind of, raw score kind of in this position, because anyone can move up or down
Yeah,
with
that's
how
true.
tight the standings are.
We'll see how that goes. I think just now also Kate made an interesting move by cutting the 3-mon, basically forgoing the Honitsu chance. So I think another option would have been cutting the 3-pin.
Yeah.
That would still keep most of the acceptance with the 6-pin, and still keeping the Honitsu chances alive. But Isabella drawing the key 5, so here, heading towards Tanpin.
Yeah, previously, Brendan also critically drawing that 7, so one of those bad shapes being completed. We'll proceed with 6 blocks.
Yep, for now, hopefully the ideal draw obviously would be to clear the double acceptance on the 1-4, so.
And here another great draw.
8, so suddenly everyone is speeding up.
Yeah, everyone critically drawing the Sozu that they need. Brendan will cut that 7-pin pair, strengthening the Sozu.
Oh,
Wow.
that again. We'll see what Terry does here. Laying the Suji trap, I believe, for 1-mon 5, so.
Will they be the Shampoo Suji trap, as you stated?
Isabella connecting on the Dora, but not exactly clear how to use it just yet.
Oh, and there's a 1-mon
The
draw.
1-mon here looking really suspicious, honestly.
Yeah, and 1-mon was already once cut by Isabella, so I can imagine that gets cut.
Isabella probably thinking about how to fight with this hand.
Yeah,
I
especially
believe-
with the Tanya Door 2, looks really appealing.
Yeah, I believe the 6-0 is a strong push. It's completely justifiable being this early and having so many Suji still not yet tested.
Yeah, Brendan will cut that 7-mon Suji.
So I think the 1-mon is on the plate soon.
Yeah, Brendan will have to draw to fill that Conchan pretty
this
much to
is-
be saved.
I feel like this is where it comes out,
Yeah.
and it does.
That will be the Roan. Richinomi will be the 1300, and we will be moving along into East 2.
Isabella with an incredible hand actually with the Tanpin Dora, but eventually the Suji trap worked well for Terry.
Yeah, could have been a risky Riichi for sure. The one mon being already one cut. But we'll be able to get the roan. And we are now in East 2. The door is 2 mon.
Interesting, cutting the 1 mon early, basically once again giving up on the 2 han yaku of Itsu.
Yeah, having that 1-2-4 mon in hand, so I'm just cutting away at that block early.
Isabella drawing the 2 so here.
Yeah, we'll see how that hand develops. Lots of Sozu there for Isabella.
Yeah, currently a double kanchan shape for now.
Yeah, a lot of our players here with some sorts of difficult blocks to work with.
Yeah, Isabella's Sozu keeps increasing. While Kate does see, I think, a glimpse of 789 Sanjaku.
Yeah, cutting that 2-so over the 9-so.
Yeah, I think here, let's see, it's still a little bit difficult.
Yeah, with that pair not being defined.
Yep. In Ishanten, it's not a particularly pleasant one, but it is one. Potentially cutting the 9-so here.
Yeah, just max efficiency with that one Dora.
Yep. Terry now having Tanyao does make it look better. Actually does not take the Tanyao, but instead holding on to her wind. Dora.
Yeah, holding the G-high later, the G-high pair later does make it an interesting balance for safety.
Another chance of choosing, but
We'll
still,
commit.
yeah, decides to go with the Sha either way, even though it's one cut already. I think Brendan's hand is not catching up.
Yeah, Brendan holding on to this one pin for a long time. Does look, it is Genbutsu to 2. We'll now let go of it. Okay, extending that Sozu block.
Drawing the 5, so here not exactly sure what to do with it really, but now actually giving the double acceptance on the 4 so that has been cut twice. I'm not entirely sure how exactly to proceed with this hand.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much more of that Sozu. Oh, but here is a great fill.
Now in yeah, the problem here after cutting 3 so still you don't have particularly strong shape except for the 4-7 so.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that turns out. Terry in perfect Ishanten right now, finally.
There's a Kanchan fill there for Brendan.
And again, suddenly everyone's hands just start proceeding.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see any sort of shift here. No.
Isabella's 4-7 so do look increasingly grim.
Yeah.
So is all out already.
And that 8 so as well. as we've seen Terry's hand, will be difficult for Isabella to even get into Tempai here. Oh, but
Isabella
finds
drawing the
possibly
final
the
one.
very last 7-so, and now on Shampon 8-so 2-pin.
Oh my god, that's Ippatsu.
And yeah, it will be the deal-in on Terry getting Tempai. It will be the Riichi Pots Dora, 5,200.
No, you don't. Oh, yeah, you don't. Thank you.
Wow, so I think. Yeah, just
Wow, I
now.
really doubted even Tenpai there for the hand. It ended up being Ipatsu.
I mean, yeah, it really happened so quickly. I felt like just now, when Terry committed to the pair of West, that's kind of like the risk that you take also. You kept the perfect Ishanten shape just so you can still have the chance to pong the West.
Yeah.
And if you have Tanyao, for example, it's
Yeah, but look at
reasonable,
this
yeah.
high pie for
Oh my
Isabella.
it can be a very, very quick hand for Isabella as well.
Yeah, and we know that Iso's gonna be Ura 3, right, as well?
Yeah, we already know that from experience.
We took a peek. The table sorting algorithm. Oh, and then
it's
great,
connecting everywhere.
great draw.
So very, very wide down Shanten for now.
Yeah, feels like there will be players that can have the chance to
Yeah.
fight her. And now this Ishanten for
Yeah,
Isabella.
just might as well just draw like 3, 4, 5. Why not? Yeah, we can tell.
Wow, and a
the
great
next draw is
Kanchan fill.
going to be 7-man.
Oh, you were
seven.
close. You were close. We gotta work on our conjuring.
Yeah. Here, Brennan having the tune for now.
Yeah, we'll
Oh.
keep.
Yeah. Kate actually reaching before Isabella does, waiting on the Dora 3-pin.
Wow.
What do you even do with this? The conning
Oh.
is good.
And we'll do so. Khan breaks Ipatsu at the very least.
Yeah, that does make it a little bit harder for Isabella's acceptance, but basically drawing any muns except for the 9-man will lead Isabella to Tenpai.
Yeah, this will be the Chunpon from Brendan.
I think after conning, really, there's no
No
going
turning
back.
Yeah, there's like, what is an interesting option possibly for discard previously?
Yeah, still waiting to draw that Manzu.
Yeah, and for 3-pin here, there's at least 2 more in the wall.
Ah, Isabella keeps drawing that thing. Small soldiers. Brendan still in this game, still trying to fight. Although that does require pushing a good amount of tiles right now. Pushing the Sotogawa, I believe. Oh, actually it's not. Just pushing the 2-chance 9-pin.
Yeah, notably the new Dora as well. Yeah, Brendan not keeping that Ryoncon.
We'll see how that works out. Basically just pushing at this point. But Conning also opens a 3rd Dora now. Like anything can happen at this point.
Now with the 4-pin.
4-pin once again, not Suji. Well, maybe I think it is on one side. Oh no, sorry. So 4-pin is Genbutsu. I was getting too excited.
I think 4-pin was the last call.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Brendan pushing.
Brendan flipping 2 Dora.
Yeah,
with
we'll
that.
see how long that lasts. And then
Oh,
Isabella
here's the
connecting on the
Tenpai.
5-man. So the problem is cutting the 6-mon or the 7-mon is now the difficult choice, I believe, for her.
7-mon's generally safer.
Yeah, discarding the 7-mon now, basically having the wall of 5-mon does make the double side of weights, and having a 6-mon pair make a lot of those combinations disappear.
Yeah, now this 1-4-mon weight for Isabella. She can win and flip all those aura indicators. We'll see.
Oh, 4-mon, I think 7-mon was Suji, I think, just now also.
I'm not sure how this weight is in the wall, and there's a 4-mon.
4-mon here.
Will not come up from Brendan since it is a shape upgrade.
Yeah, and it's actually really scary. I think right now 3-pin's still very much alive in this game. Even though we're
still
this
2 in the
late.
wall.
Yeah. Oh, it's annoying.
with the sumo
So
for
we'll
Kate.
see the pinata. Wait, there's one more. Hitting absolutely nothing is what happened?
Yes, I think nothing.
Well, perfectly evading all Doras.
Yeah, will be the Reach Sumo Dora for Kate.
Well, the anticlimactic Dora flip is also some sort of a climax there.
Yeah, it could have been a universe where that's a very different outcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, will be the 1,000, 2,000 for Kate there as we move on to East 4.
Wow.
And we see a Chun Pone here from Kate. South is our Dora.
Still can't believe we didn't get any Ordoras from there. Terry having a really strong shape might get there really quickly.
Brendan's with a great fill there. Pretty good Kutsuki tiles as well. I think we'll have a good chance at fighting here.
Brandon potentially looking at the 3-4-5 Sanshoku.
See if Terry wants to extend that Sozu or not.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting choice also. Breaking up the 1-pin, 2-pin is also natural.
So we see a Chi here from Kate. Just trying to speed this game along.
Terry once again keeping that 1-pin, not entirely sure which one has a higher value. The 1-pin does prevent you from getting Tanyao.
Yeah, and the third call from Kate, but still not Tenpai, looking for that pair.
Or so now, but then 1-so is Footy 10. At this point, it's quite hard for Terry to get acceptance from the Soza side as Kate finally gets the Tenpai.
Yeah, even keeping that 4-so there with a 5-so
I believe
draw.
that's the deal in.
So yeah, we'll just be the 1,000, the Chun. And I think Kate very focused on just getting that second dealership. As we've seen, you can't always be guaranteed your
Yeah,
second
that's
dealership
true,
in
that's true.
in this time format. So
Yeah.
gonna be happy to move the game along there.
Brennan having the pair of Hatu here.
Is Kate looking like she has pretty good blocks there?
Now, quite interesting. They're still discarding the honors. Another good discard would be also the 9-pin, because you have a 6-pin that makes 9-pin as a floating tile particularly weak, and you can keep your Honyutsu chances.
Yeah. With Kate keeping this 9 mon both for Dora acceptance and for that Sanshoku. 7, 8, 9 possibility.
Yep. Isabella with the Dora are just hoping to pawn this tune immediately.
Yeah, Terry will slim down on shapes.
As Brendan draws more mons, still not looking at the Honyutsu.
There's a fill for Kate. And we'll keep this 3-so. Skitsky Tao.
Keeping the Sanshoku chances alive, still.
30 minutes remaining.
Yeah.
30.
Terry playing 6 blocks.
It's actually a relatively fast game so far, I think. 30 minutes remaining, we're at South 1 already.
Yeah, comparatively for sure. I feel like all the other games we've been casting, we've seen home before on the counter at least one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, this table, both playing fast and having fast hands and moving the game along. And a great fill there for Kate. A little Riichi now. Min Peen waiting on that 3-6 mon.
The 3-mon here is not very useful for Terry. If she pushes here, can get scary. Place it safe, I believe. That's...
Yeah. Was 6 blocks, so still 5 blocks there for Terry.
Yeah, so I think Terry here trying to find another path because the 4-pin has in fact passed.
Oh, that was Tempai there for Brendan, I believe. The Damlan Hatsu. We see this is Mochi Mochi here.
Yeah, so but then decides to wait for one turn and then decides to reach here.
Now throwing the
Well,
stick
Terry
in.
is kind of in a pinch.
Yeah, we'll see if this pressure will cause Terry to cut that Hatsu pair.
Oh no, drawing the 6-so here. We'll see how Terry survives this Riichi situation from 2 players. And then cutting the Mochi Mochi Hatsu.
And it will come out. We were talking about not seeing enough Homba on the counter, so it will be a win for Brendan. Reach Hatsu Dora.
Yeah, I think Terry, at that point, it's completely trapped.
Yeah.
She has a lot of Titania tiles, and the only 2 tiles, I mean, there's only 2 terminal tiles that's Mochi Mochi that happen to also be Brendan's weight.
Yeah, so it will be 7,700.
And having 2 pairs of G-highs. Will he look at Honyutsu this time? We'll see. Kate having a really good hand. Very
Isabella
strong
with the
shapes.
pair of the South here.
Terry also with a great hand. I think everyone has fighting chances here
Mm-hmm.
in this hand.
Wow, great
Wow.
fill there for Isabella.
And this can be an all-out brawl. Everyone
Yeah,
having
everyone getting great draws.
really, like, having plenty of reasons to push,
Mhm.
really.
Yeah, Dora being here 6 mon. Hands will have a good amount of value.
Isabella pawning here decides to go with a fast hand, while Terry actually forgoing the perfect Ishan pin there.
Yeah, Isabella being in West seat. Definitely wants that second dealership.
So again here, just going
Yeah,
the
little
5
rough.
pin.
you're committed to using that Dora, well, I guess not entirely committed to using the Dora, otherwise it'd be 5 so.
Yeah. I think here finally Terry going into 10-5, but this hand has limited value.
Yeah. Will be Riichi Dora, waiting on 5-8 pin.
5-8 pin, I think, looking incredibly strong.
Mm-hmm.
Having 6 in the wall. A Patsumo here would get Terry back into the game.
Yeah, that 8 pin not quite fitting into Kate's hand yet.
Oh, and this I
but the
called it.
Patsumo.
I called it.
Will be the Riichi Patsumo Dora, Ura, but does not quite matter. Will be the 2000, 4000 is 2100, 4100.
This time I really saw it coming.
Oh, okay.
After the point exchange, seems like beforehand was like a wrong declaration for the point. You're gonna fix it?
So this does put Terry back into the 20,000s.
Mhm.
And so it's still everyone's game. I think we just have a very, very flat game after all that fight
Yeah.
in the East round.
Especially with the speed that we currently have, we might see this game come to completion with everyone getting to play all their rounds and completing all their dealerships.
Yeah. So I think the display currently on screen is incorrect.
I think there was the exchange of the 340 was a 330. I think I saw 3900 as opposed to 7700.
Oh, I think they put 5800.
Oh, is
what,
that-
I think
yeah.
that's what Brendan probably declared, and no one corrected.
Okay, I see.
Then yeah, but then winning on a champon shape, you're always having 40 fu after
Mm-hmm.
Riichi.
Yeah.
So it should have been 7700, but I think according to the rules,
I think we
any
figured out-
score
Yeah.
mistakes in
Yeah.
scoring cannot be rectified after the hand has been pushed into the table.
Yes, I know that is definitely the case, at least for Saikouisen rules set.
Yeah, I think also for this tournament.
For this tournament and league rules as well, it seems that that is what we're doing. So we're trying to remedy the score situation. There's a judge who is
And then I gave you
currently sorting this out.
Yeah,
So we'll see what the final call will be.
just wait for a while as this situation gets resolved.
I was pretty sure I gave you change.
So just a note for our viewers, if you're Riichi and if you win a hand that is not Ping Fu, 95% of the time it's going to be 40 Fu.
Yeah, on the round.
Thank you.
Looks like. Okay, starting into the next hand.
Alright, I think the issue got resolved. Let's see how that goes. I think the scores on the screen still does not match with that on the table, but I think the table one should be the one that's
That we were going with.
yeah, that we're going with. As you can see, after the 2000, 4000 Zumo by Terry, she's very much back in the game, and this is still a very flat, very close game.
Seems like there's a 400-point difference with Brendan, which is a little
最
odd.
初の質もなく私がポンしちゃってもう一回回っちゃったんだけど
But
持ってきてもいいよ
we'll see how that develops.
Yeah, I think they ran into another problem here. Kate forgot the first Zumo as the dealer. And just again, a side note for our viewers, in normal M League rules, that would have been Shohai and Agari Hoki already. But I think in this tournament, within the first turn, because this mistake does happen very often, especially when you're under stress, and we do allow players to replenish one tile as long as it's within the first turn of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely rough, especially kind of taking that break right there kind of ruins everyone's momentum.
Yeah,
So,
it really happens actually quite easily when you're having especially good starting hand, and you're
Mhm.
really excited to just discard one of the unnecessary tiles, and then realizing you forgot to draw the first tile.
yeah. An incredible speed, it would seem, here for Terry. Good shapes and continue to improve them, and will have the opportunity to continue calling.
Isabella looking pretty strong, although still have to find ways to take care of those pairs.
Yeah. Brendan will have a lot of value if he can get the tempi here.
Isabella drawing the really key 2-pin that greatly speeds up her hand.
Yeah. Is there any particular reason for the 8-mon keep in Isabella's hand?
Yeah, I think for now, let me also confirm the Dora. Yeah, the Dora is in fact 7-mon. And so being the Dora Soba, probably looking to improve.
Yeah, having those 2 pairs as well, probably would like to change one of those pairs to a Ryeonman if possible.
Yep.
If not drawing that Dora. Now, possible Itsu chance for Kate, but would not have a defined pair if she went that route.
So Terry, I think, going for speed here. Brendan having a really promising hand, I think, for now.
Yeah.
The pair can come out of basically anywhere. Discarding the 7-pin here, potentially having the 4-5-6 Anshoku, although that is a little bit far. And he's
there's that
does
Dora
draw
draw
the
there.
Dora.
Yeah, so it will be the Ishan 10 for Isabella. As Terry calls Ishan 10 as well.
Yep.
Brendan continuing to draw. The pair is still not quite defined.
Isabella completing. Wow, I think Isabella only has effective draws.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So far.
So will be the Riichi for Isabella on 2 5-pin. It's like 5 pins very much locked up in the player's hands. 2-pin once cut at least. And 2-pin also held in Isabella's hand as well.
Yep. Still not too bad. Oh.
Yeah, I missed the upgrade, but it's gonna be fine.
Cannot be helped. Kate here going defensive. If he pushes the hand, it will lead to the 5-pin deal in, so that's unlikely to happen for now.
Yeah, I think there's only 1 2-pin left for Isabella. Otherwise, this weight
I believe Kate is
completely dead.
completely folding here. Kate's goal really is to secure at least 2nd place, I think.
Yeah.
So dealing in here can put him to 4th immediately, giving such a flat score situation. Brendan really wants to push this. It's a very wide Ishan 10 as well, although most of those will lead to a
Dora Kanchan.
yeah, bad shaped tempai likely.
Yeah, either Tonki or Kanchan a lot of the time.
Yeah, Terry fighting on, knowing how important any win is in this situation.
Yeah, and how's 3 6-pin look? Maybe just ever so slightly better than 2 5-pin, but also very much used up or dead.
Yep. See if Brendan can make it a tempai. Still not tempai just yet. Discarding the 8-mon here might be an option he's considering.
Yeah, I think that is the
Yeah, really just
best
pushing.
way to find a pair.
Yep.
Okay, trying to figure out what's the best discard. We'll go the 2-mon.
The 7-mon does come up here. That's what Brendan wants, but
Brendan finding tempai. Will be the Riichi. 5-mon Kanchan.
5-mon. Kate has a pair. And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so 3 players tempai. Oh, and there's the 6-pin. Will deal into Terry. So it is the non-Dora 2000. As we will move to South 3.
Yeah, so this is a huge win for Terry, really. Not just the win itself, but also taking, I think, 2 Riichi sticks. And now she's in second.
Yeah, our scores are just so incredibly tight, and both Isabella and Terry going to have chances at dealerships here. Yeah, the scores are so tight that even like Oyakaburis can completely change the standings as well.
Yep. To be fair, it feels a little bit like, how should I put it, like when you're having like a very flat score, with everyone being the dealer feels it's more risk than reward.
I agree. And we should note that Terry does have the Anko double non in hand.
Yeah, now it seems that her hand is coming together.
Yeah, very callable. A little bit of overlap in that 5566 mon, but don't think we'll be complaining. Shapes do look decent.
Yeah, now
We'll
really
draw
just,
into that Dora Penchon shape.
yeah, going into full efficiency, really just winning anything with this double nan Anko is going to make a huge difference.
Brendan with great shapes as well. As Isabella completes, we'll cut one of her Penchon.
I believe it's Isabella calling the June, even though she doesn't have a pair for now. Okay, trying to find a win here. While Terry drawing the 7-mon, this is huge, breaking up the double acceptance on the Monza side.
Yeah, we'll see how Isabella can find this pair. Would be great to have the Pinzu Nobuton with the Dora.
And there, Terry with the Chi guaranteeing at least 3 Han in her hand.
Ooh.
Chi, and that will be the Dora Tanki, I believe.
Yeah, so Mongon hand here for Terry.
Yeah, there's none left in the wall, but Isabella's 9-pin can be dangerous.
Yeah, but the saving grace is that Isabella does not have a pair.
That would be the 3-pin, but then if Isabella does draw the 3-6-0 or the 4-7 pin, this can get really tricky.
Yeah. Even 7-pin is a little difficult to push with the 8-pin Tadashi from Terry.
Yeah. Does draw the 4-pin, this can be deadly. This is a Mongon hand if she deals in here.
I wonder if Isabella, oh, but it will be the deal in. And that will be 8,000 points.
While Terry, I think winning 3 hands in a row.
Yeah.
Score.
It's really hard to just fold though in that position or to even rebuild the hand for Isabella, how the point situation is.
It was really rough there for Isabella. Also, after the 8-pin Tadashi, obviously everything around it after the Chi would be quite dangerous.
Yeah. Completely understandable though.
Yeah, it's really rough.
There's no more time to fight. You're already in 4th.
Yeah, and Isabella also knows that it's her dealership and she does have a Ramen Tenpai, and so it's completely reasonable to push here, and so unfortunately it does steal into Terry, who really I think skillfully called several times to get there on the Dora Tankis too, so.
Yeah, great play there from Terry to get that Mongon. Yeah, we will be moving to all last. South 4, the Dora is 4 so.
Yeah, I think here we'll definitely want to see if Kate can come back in this last game to get that first place. That might be huge to decide who the final winner of the tournament is.
Yeah, there's so many players actually that are really close in the top 4.
I think for Terry here, even for Noten in Ryukyu,
10 minutes
it's enough to
remaining.
secure first.
Yeah, but Kate having the ability to call double non and also having a pair of Dora.
I think non here is single. Kate is the west seat.
Oh, you're correct.
Yeah, but still it's plenty enough, I believe. Even a 1000, 2000 Zimo would be enough for Kate, whose hand does have that value. And now calling the Nan, I believe.
Yeah, so there is that path here for the Gyakten for Kate.
Wow, I'm really excited to see how this will turn out, really.
Any Roan passes?
Yeah, that can actually happen if Kate is...
We might see it.
Yeah, if Kate is really going for... Oh my god, but now it's not even necessary. Now
anything
Ishanten with Dora 3.
guaranteed Mongon here for Kate.
Yeah, just winning this hand will win Kate this game, and that would have huge implications. Brendan!
Amazing drop for Brendan. Now Tenpai.
I think he's trying to figure out his condition.
Oh.
Oh, scary, scary moment. Yeah, I think Brendan needs to hit either Ipatsu Ura to catch first place or Ura Ura, which is not super likely for this hand.
Yeah, so we'll see if Kate's able to get into Tenpai and then how many more pushes will be needed made.
Yeah, I believe Kate here will push basically anything.
Yeah, this 4-7 mon, 3-4 mon at least are being held up by the players.
Kate looking to con here, actually, yeah.
Will do so.
Basically, it's a might as well situation because...
Oh, and that is the Tenpai on 6-0 Kanchan. How many more of those do we have? At least 2 are held by the players.
Yeah, 6
3.
So not looking particularly strong as a weight.
Yeah, I think only 1 6-0 is left here in the wall.
Although all you need is 1.
Yeah, we've seen that occur
Yeah,
already
all you
today.
need is 1. 6 mon is still
Not 6 mon.
passing. The weight is 4-7 mon for Brandon.
Yeah, and on 4 mon draw, Kate will have the option of cutting that 7-so.
Wow, this is really exciting. The 7 mon Sumo!
Oh, but it's the 7 mon Sumo here for Brendan.
We'll
And
see if
Sumo
he hits
Dora.
the Ura and skillfully blocking the camera. I think that's the 9-so. But with the con, well, I think that overtakes Kate at least. I think there's 13-26.
Yeah. So will be Brendan moving up into 2nd place for the Gyakten.
Yeah, so I think this really hurts Kate's chances of getting first place in the tournament.
Yeah.
But Kate really tried his best, I think, with the non-Dora 4 in the end, right?
Yeah, that was a very admirable fight, especially, you know, conning even for the extra jaw to even
Yeah, I think
make that fight happen.
yeah, he hesitated for a brief moment on the con as well, but knowing that really at this point you have nothing to lose. If Brendan Zumos, you're likely to be third at that point, and the con does give you an extra chance for the Kutsuki Shanten to come to fruition. So a really exciting match. Also Terry winning so many hands in a row and getting that first after so many hard-fought battles.
Yeah, starting with that non-onko, and then being able to get that Mongan with the Dora Tonki.
Yeah.
That was incredible. So yeah, now all the streaming tables have finished. We will be waiting for the rest of the tables though to conclude, and we will tally up the scores. There's currently 5 more minutes remaining overall for the rest of the tables. The streaming table did finish a little bit early. We have not seen a table finish early until now.
Yeah, that's actually the first time I think on the stream table. We actually barely even got to South 3 over the past few games also,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and so with that, there are a couple players I guess we can discuss. Kate probably dropping out of, well, not necessarily dropping out of top 3, but more than unlikely to retain that first position or to get first overall.
Yeah.
Auto High Pie Riichi style.
Yeah,
table.
I think for the top 5 players, it really, well, we're really curious to see who got the 4th first, I think, of their day, and that might just decide the outcome of this tournament as well.
Yeah, it's pretty much any of these players here that are over 130 points with another first could cement them into the top 3, if not first overall.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, how'd you like that game?
Yeah.
Faster.
Yeah, it really progressed quite fast, and then everyone had some wins, and then that dropped Terry to 4th place, but then Terry came back really strong, and in the end, it was a very, very close game up until the end.
Yeah, I was surprised to see everyone pretty much hovering between that 20,000 to 30,000 point range.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Nice. I think we're now waiting for everyone to finish, and then it should be the award ceremony soon.
Yeah, they're currently going around and getting together the rest of the table scores.
All right.
So were there any other big moments for you today?
Yeah, I think today, well, definitely in game 3, so the game we just watched, where I think Takahiro-san got 1st place. So that game, there's also a lot of high-level battle. There are a lot of, for example, I think with the Chinizu by Sugi-san at that time, drawing the fatal 4-so in the end and actually dodging very skillfully, cutting the 7-so. I think that was a really nice moment for that game. And then also, just now, I think Terry's decision to do the 9-pin Tanki after calling twice, realizing that that is her advantage, I think that was also a great play.
Yeah, very unique situation for that, especially since the points were so close. Without the points being so close, a lot of players could have just easily folded if that was the case. But that certain situation where Isabella is dealer in South 3, cutting that Dora, giving her the good weight tempai, so all those situations coming together in order to making that Dora something that Isabella had to push.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very, very exciting day, really. I mean, even the comeback by, I think, Sophie in the first game, also getting the Ur3 and then the final 8-so, that was also very remarkable.
The
so
100-point Gyakuten.
yeah, so a lot of things happened, I think, throughout the day. Well, we've watched some really high-quality games. Well, not just today, also yesterday. It was really, really exciting, and I hope it's the same for our viewers as well.
Yeah, and we just about have 1 minute remaining on the official matches, and then as this is a +0 format. Once these hands conclude, that will be it. That will be it for them. And then so we will go head into the ceremony after that.
Yeah, I think right now the down in the corner, that's the actual camera for the venue. So down here, here is the actual camera for that part. And I'm also looking at the comments. Actually, just now I was kind of busy looking at the screen and not the comment section. I saw, I think, a lot of supporters for Brandon. They're cheering for them to win his hands. I hope if Brandon does see this recording, know that a lot of your friends are cheering for you.
Sounds like a lot of supporters from Chicago probably for Brendan.
Yeah, and then I was also seeing the discussion for the mahjong terms in Japanese and English, and I think a lot of players here do speak Japanese to a certain extent, and also for a lot of the terms, for example, for yakus, most of the time we'll use just the Japanese term instead of trying to translate it into some really weird things. You can see those translations on online mahjong platforms, all sorts of very interesting, non-intuitive translations, also inconsistent.
Yeah. So tomorrow will be the M League style tournament with the 4 M League pros. Would you like to kind of maybe give a quick spiel about that to our viewers?
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll have 4 M League players, so Nanba Shibukawa and Ken Sonoda, Aiko Hinata, and Akina Mitsuhara coming to play with all the participants here. So basically the format guarantees that each participant will have at least one game with one of the M Leaguers. So it's a pretty exciting day for people who yearn to play with star players.
Yeah, so quite differently, tomorrow will be Tompusen and 8 games as opposed to 4. Do you happen to know how the time limit is working for that?
Yeah, I believe it's going to be half an hour for each game. So I think it's more likely for all the East rounds to finish, given that you have like 50 minutes for Hanchan, right? So you have technically more time for each game. And so that could be quite fun. You get to play with also more like different people than you do in a 4-game tournament. So there's that. And I actually just had the honor of meeting Aiko Hinata Pro, who is one of my idols because I'm a huge ABEMA's fan, and managed to take a picture with her. And she's a really incredible person. I think just now from the AMOS talk also, her answers and her interaction with the viewers are really, really amazing.
Yeah. Would you like to go over maybe some of the key questions from that AMOS talk that you really enjoyed, like Hinata Aiko-san's answers?
Yeah, I think one of the Q&As we had just now with Hinata Pro was what kind of special matches she would want to see incorporated in M League or in M League related events. For example, we have a collaboration with different, I think, cup noodles, right? So that's something that has been going on for a while, and they had like this entire tournament against, I think, Oi Takaharu Pro back in the day. And Hinata-san's idea was to have you can change the player in the middle of the game. For example, if you're having a huge lead, then as an ABEMA's player, you know, the person who is best at folding would be Oi Pro, and you can call him in mid-game. And I think that was really exciting. I think Hinata Pro also mentioned this somewhere else in one of those M League programs, but that I think would be really interesting. Obviously, how to really implement that would be a challenge, but that would be a really, really fun idea for everyone, players and viewers alike.
Sounds like aligned with Japan's infatuation with baseball as well, kind of calling in like a pinch hitter.
Yeah, that's true.
Finish their pitcher to finish the game off.
Yeah, and then I think there are also some really practical questions directed towards Hinata Pro, which is, for example, as a mahjong player, you have slumps, right? You have periods of time where you don't do so well, and I think people will feel it already, even if you just play online, right? If you have like a streak of 4th place in Mahjong Seoul, for example, you feel like, I don't want to play this game anymore. You feel like it's rigged and things, right? And as a pro, this is even more serious because it's part of your job to play Mahjong well. And if you aren't doing well, you face a lot of pressure from fans, from a lot of like criticisms online, also. And so Hinata Pro is saying that this kind of like negative emotion, like when you're feeling depressed when playing Mahjong, can only be kind of like remedied by playing more Mahjong. So if you win, then I think actually it's really like, it does sound like quite interesting, but it does make sense to me also. Like if I'm mad after a game, there's really
just
nothing.
queue up. Just queue
there's
up,
really nothing you can do rather than winning, right? Like you will feel mad if you like just go to bed and.
All right.
hope
Well,
for
you
another
heard
day.
it from one of the best pros. If you're tilted, if you're on a losing streak, just queue up.
Yeah. So that to me, I really like resonate with that. Also, if I get a 4th, well, just play another game until I get 1st. So.
Yeah, and I was also hearing a little bit towards the end how much she puts forward into building the Mahjong community for like those who are younger, or she works with children a lot.
Yeah, so I think Hinata Pro is very engaged in a lot of like interaction with the community. On her YouTube channel, you can see also the I think the elementary school student tournament. I'm not sure if it's a tournament, but there's also definitely a classroom element to that, teaching the children how to use the automatic table, how to count Yaku and Fu, and basically, first of all, promoting the positive image of Mahjong that is not related to gambling, and creating a new generation of strong Mahjong players. And I think that is a very meaningful project, and Hinata Pro, with her communication skills obviously top-notch, is very, very good at engaging with the community. And so it'll be fun to see how this generation of Mahjong players develop into maybe, M-leaguers of the next generation.
Yeah. Kind of touching up on that, do you happen to know how the perception is of Mahjong, or how it has changed in the recent years? Is there a lot less stigmatism of it, or is it depending on different groups, different age groups?
Yeah, I'm sure there's still for a lot of people the perception that Mahjong is related to gambling. Like when you play Mahjong, you have to gamble. But definitely the development of M-League and also other pro organizations and the tournaments that they hold do promote the positive image of Mahjong, and gradually people do understand that there are things such as healthy so-called parlors or dojos, and those are just having like gambling is strictly prohibited in those venues, and I think that promotes the intellectual part of Mahjong as a strategy game. And I think it's picking up popularity also from the online Mahjong platforms, right? Like Tenho, we have like Mahjong Seoul, we have Riichi City, all sorts of different platforms, and that also allows younger players to get in touch with Mahjong and get to play anytime they want to up their skills. And so I think gradually Mahjong is getting a different image all over the world.
Yeah. So even with these Kenko Mahjong parlors, the feel and style is definitely a lot different than we have here. So do you have any kind of ideas of maybe what could take the current like parlors that we have here to the next step, either for appeal or for engaging others?
Yeah, I think currently in, I'd say like parlors in America, for example, the biggest problem or the limitation is that we have like a very specific community that is hard to grow. And I think on that part, a lot of parlor owners really put in a lot of effort already. And so I think on that end, we're looking at like a very optimistic future. But in general, anything that is related to development of Mahjong on a larger scale definitely comes, like, it has to stem from having a big enough player base. And so having like more promotion in any platforms, or just telling your players to recruit more players to try, and also hold classes for and create a friendly environment for newcomers, is also very important in growing the community and subsequently developing mahjong on a greater scale.
Great. Thank you very much, Matthew Crow. And yeah, so that should be the last table that has concluded.
Yeah, I believe the award ceremony is coming soon.
Let's see if there are any tables that are still inputting their scores. I believe it's all completed. So yeah, we will be awaiting that award ceremony here. Yeah, not quite any spoilers quite yet. Even we don't know.
Very, very excited to see who managed get ahead in the end. So I think actually today the competition is very, very fierce. You have a lot of players who got 3 firsts.
Yeah.
Right? And I think yesterday it's also kind of like that, but in the end I think Noel having around 200 points would mean, I would guess it's 3 firsts plus a second.
Yeah.
So we'll see if anyone can pull out a perfect game in this tournament today.
Yeah, just looking at these scores here, there are 8 scores that were at least 120. So yeah, I definitely think at the very minimum 8 players starting with those 3 firsts. So definitely expecting to see 1 or 2 capturing another first in the last game here.
We'll see how that goes. Are they still not finished? I think there might be 1 table on screen that's not finished. Oh, it's not. I think they're
I think all of them were completed.
Okay, that's
So
good.
at this point, they probably, after the last table had concluded, they just letting anyone who needed to take a break, take a quick break. And they also notably did not put the last round scores into the system so as to not spoil. But yeah, the ceremony will be starting soon, as Kenji is stating. So presenting third place will be Aiko Hinata Pro.
Drum roll, please. Mark Kubota. Mark Kubota. Oh, congratulations. あ、どうぞどうぞ、こちらへ。こちらへ。マスター、どうぞどうぞ。Congratulations. Again, the third place was AMOS Riichi Style. Congratulations! Round of applause! How many cups? How many first place? 3回 3 first place. Congratulations.
Mark getting 3 first.
Congratulations.
First 3 games.
Okay, second place, the Riichi Style EX will be awarded. The winner, second place is...
Anthony S. in second place, winning the AMOS Riichi Style EX table with 178.2 points.
And the first place, grand prize, Riichi Style HD goes to... Drum
First place will be Christine R. from New York with that 209.4 points. Taking home the AMOS Auto High Pi Riichi Style HD.
Incredible. Congratulations to Christine. I think getting 3 first and 1 second.
See, I would seem our top 3. No one had 4 first at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think so. It's really, really difficult against a strong field of players, especially. Congratulations to all winners.
Congratulations.
Take your time. All awards.
Anthony a little too tall for pictures.
And you can see Hinata Pro doing the ABEMA's victory sign with L, then, which stands for Mahjong Love.
Congratulations.
So once again, congratulations to all winners.
first three requests you have.
So I think Christine is asked to give a speech.
初めて優勝を開催しました。先日なんですけど、アモスジャパンから赤いブレスレットをしました。で、そしたらちょっと赤のランクが上がるんじゃないかっていうのを一応思ったんですけど、勝利に導いてくれたんだと思います。はい。What was your final score? 209.4. The only player that hit 200. Tell us your placement. Yep, for 4 games. 1-1-1-2. Wow, one more. Where are you going to use the big? No, sorry. Let's move. Maybe let's move. We need a phone for the table. Let's move. Bigger room. You're the champion. Congratulations!
Congratulations to Christine once again with 209.4. Very impressive result.
Yeah, second and third, only 2 points away from each other. But Christine with very strong lead out in first.
Let's live together. Hinata now has a second home. Okay, congratulations. Go ahead. Okay, one last round of applause to Christine. Congratulations.
One last time, congratulations to our top 3 and to Christine.
I do want to have last words from the two.
皆さん、お疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様でした。
なんていうの英語でお疲れ様って。
お疲れ様でした。Thank you for your that's a person.
なんていうの？あ、お疲れ様でした。決勝戦を見たんですよ、私。前作見たんですけど、明日の傾向と対策がありました。
I was watching everybody play the last round with my sister. Now she has a game plan based off of what she saw.
チートイとトイトイ好きすぎない？
Everybody loves it.
そうでしょ？でもカー好きって言ってたからねえ、イエーイ！カーするにはポーしなきゃだもんね。めっちゃポーしてたもん。そう、トイトイランドって作りたいぐらい。皆さん、トイトイランドやってた。なので明日はトイトイに気をつけます。チートイとトイトイには気をつけて手をかけます。あと、上手い人が多かった。
ちょっとI'm going to be prepared for the toy toy and Jesus attack, but I also saw a lot of really good players.
なんか、闇でも結構多様化してました。
Some people were able to adapt to the Damasen Yami.
気をつけようと思う。いつだって。なんでちょっと明日また会える方が多いんですよね。はい。明日はレブリーガー他に3人来て合計4名、園田健、水原明菜、渋川奈々と私なので、皆さんぜひボコボコにしてください。 ボコボコわかるボコボコあ、結構わかるありがとう
So she's looking forward to playing with you all tomorrow if you guys are signed up. And not only her, she will be joined with 3 other M leaguers, Stan and Sonoda, Akina Mizuhara, and Nanda Shimisawa, and herself. So, let's have fun, and please, boco boco us, is what she said. Miyata. Okay.
明日も楽しみにしてます。今日も白熱した試合、とても面白かったです。皆さん本当にありがとうございました。
Great to see all the great marbles playing. Thank you very much. Looking forward to tomorrow. And last word.
All right. And with that, that's all from us today. We will be back tomorrow with the M League meetup. So, yeah, we will be continuing with that tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.